guys, my name is Jaira M. Mariano from STEM 11A-2 and for today's video lesson tutorial, ang pag-uusapan natin is hypothesis testing. Kung ano ang hypothesis testing, tas kung paano siya ginagawa. So, lipat lang ako sa aking screen and then we'll start.
Hypothesis testing. So, hypothesis is a proposition, statement, or an assumption based on some previous observation about the value of a population parameter for testing purposes. So, yung hypothesis natin, ito yung statement claiming that something is true. Statistical hypothesis or statistical hypothesis test, it is a statistical method that is used in making statistical decision using experimental data, an assumption that is made about the population parameter. So, there are two types of hypotheses, null and alternative hypotheses. So, differentiate natin yung null and alternative hypothesis. First, yung null hypothesis. Pag sinabing null hypothesis, it is denoted by this symbol, H sub 0, or in other books, makikita rin siya doon na H sub O. It is the initial claim. Ito yung unang kiniklaim at ito rin yung tinitest. Sabi dito, it shows no significant difference, no changes, nothing happened between two parameters. So, sa ating null hypothesis, ibig sabihin yan, walang pinagkaiba, walang difference. So, madalas na makikita na symbol sa null hypothesis is yung equality symbol. Kung mapapansin nyo, ayan o, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then yung equality sign. Next naman, yung alternative hypothesis. So, ano yung alternative hypothesis? Alternative hypothesis, it is denoted by the symbol H sub A or H sub 1. Yung ating alternative hypothesis, it is contrary sa ating null hypothesis. So, itong alternative hypothesis, kinokontra niya or sasalungat siya sa sinasabi ng null hypothesis. Sabi dito, it shows a significant difference, change, and effect between a parameter or specific value. Ang symbol naman para sa alternative hypothesis is yung inequality symbol. So, yung not equal to, less than, and greater than. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito sa table na to, yung null hypothesis natin, lagi siyang may equal sign. Itong equal, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to.
So, ngayong alam na natin yung definition and yung pinagkaiba ng null and alternative hypothesis, try naman natin mag-formulate ng null and alternative hypothesis. So, I have here statement, tapos i-identify natin kung ano yung null hypothesis niya and yung alternative hypothesis niya. So, sabi sa statement, the percentage of people who watch business proposal is 80%. So, yung word na is, kapag nakita yung word na is, it means equal. So, yung magiging null hypothesis natin is percentage equal 80% or 0.80. So, kung babalikan natin kanina, ito, sabi dito, yung katumbas ng equal sign is not equal. Therefore, yung magiging alternative hypothesis natin sa statement na to is HA or alternative hypothesis is not equal to 80% or percentage is not equal to 80% or 0.80. So yun, ngayong alam na natin kung paano mag-formulate ng null and alternative hypothesis, mag-move na tayo sa next. Next naman, may tinatawag tayong one-tailed test and two-tailed test. I-discuss na muna natin. Kailangan natin ito i-discuss kasi mamaya magagamit siya sa decision step and unahin natin yung one-tailed test. I-differentiate natin yung pinagkaiba ng one-tailed at two-tailed. So one-tailed test, sabi dito, the rejection region is on one side of the distribution. Kumbaga kung ito yung normal curve natin, ito yung normal curve natin. Nasa isang side lang siya, either nandito or nandito. It is either on the left or on the right of the curve depending on the alternative hypothesis is tested. Sunod naman, may tinatawag na two-tailed test. So yung two-tailed test, the region is on the both side of the curve. If the alternative hypothesis contains inequality symbol, then the test is two-tailed. So pag sinabing two-tailed test, both sides siya tinitest, both right and left side ng ating normal curve. Both side, natin sa isi-shade yung, so, gawin natin. So for example, ito yung normal curve. Ayan, zero yan. So dalawang side siya isi-shade. Right and left. So, pag right and left, negative and positive yan. So, yan, if may nakita kayo, if inequality yung symbol, it means two-tailed test yung gagamitin. Kung greater than naman, right-tailed test yung gagamitin, it means positive. Kung left-tailed test naman is less than, or ang gagamitin sa left-tailed naman is ang negative. guys, since familiar na tayo sa null and alternative, sa hypothesis testing, sa types ng hypothesis testing, which is the null and alternative, and as well as sa one tail, yung right and left, and two tail, may niredy ako dito na 5 examples. 3 of them, i-discuss natin step by step, and the last 2 kayo yung magkasagot later. So, proceed na tayo. So, example number 1, a researcher claims that the average salary of an office secretary is greater than 40,000 with a standard deviation of 7,500. So, a sample of 35 secretary has a mean salary of 42,000. So, at 0.05 level of significance, test the claim of the researcher. So, first thing na gagawin dito is hahanapin yung claim. So, since yung claim natin dito, since yung statement na to, o yung problem na to, yung example na to, is my word na claim, madali na siyang mahanap. So, yung claim natin is greater than 40,000. So, if mathematical symbol, ganyan yan. So, now, alam natin yung claim, mag-formulate na tayo ng null and alternative. So, since greater than, yung symbol niya, ilalagay natin siya sa alternative hypothesis. So, yung claim natin, nasa alternative hypothesis. So, kung yung katumbas ng greater than sa null hypothesis naman is mu is less than or equal to 40,000. So, ngayon na na-formulate na natin, nakapag-construct na tayo ng ating identify natin yung claim, nakapag-construct tayo ng null and alternative hypothesis, magpupunta tayo sa next step. So, next step, we will select the level of significance and then we will identify the appropriate test for the samples. So, ayan, level of significance, 0.05. Yung given, i-list na rin natin yung given. So, population mean, 7,500. Population mean, 40,000. And then yung sample population mean, 42,000. Yung sample population, 35,000. And then lastly, standard deviation natin is 7,500. And after natin ma-identify yung given, ma-select yung level of significance, puproceed na tayo sa kung anong test yung gagamitin. So, hindi pala nabanggit kanina kung paano malalaman kung anong test. So, kapag i-identify yung test na gagamitin, titignan lang natin yung sample or yung N, yung sample population or yung N. If the sample population or N is greater than or equal to 30, z-test yung gagamitin. If yung N naman natin is less than 30, t-test naman yung gagamitin natin. So in this example, ang gagamitin natin is z-test. So yung next, kung bakit one-tail test, nabanggit kanina, if greater than one-tail test na right yung gagamitin. So next, hanapin naman natin yung critical value. Ngayon, alam na natin yung kung anong test yung gagamitin. So using our z-table, identify na natin. So sabi one-tail and z-test. Tapos yung level of significance, 0.05. Take note that the level of significance or yung 0.05 ng one-tail is different from 0.05. So kapag ginanyan yan, kapag pinagtapat yun na yung z na yan, saka yung ito, one-tail or two-tail, magkaiba yung value ng one-tail saka two-tail. So, keep in mind lang. So, tingnan natin kung saan sila nagtagpo. Okay, sorry, hindi siya diretso. Sana naintindihan. So, ang critical value natin is 1.645. So, dahil right-tail siya, positive yan. So, the critical value is positive 1.645. So next step, we will calculate the test statistic using this formula. Z is equals to X minus population mean or mu over standard deviation divided by the square root of N or yung sample space. So, ayan. Try nyo siya sa calculator nyo. Ito. Ayan, nalagay ko rin din sa gilid yung sample sa calculator ko. So, kapag na-solve na yan, na-input yan, ang kalalabasan yan is 1.58. So, the value of our Z is 1.58. So, step 4, decision na. So, using our, kunyari hindi nyo pa ito nakita. So, using our normal curve, ilalagay natin siya. So, 1.645, nandito siya, positive 1.645. And then yung value ng ating day is 1.58. So, ang value niya is 1.58. So, nandito, somewhere, nandyan siya, 1.58. So, 1.58, nandyan siya. Nandito siya. So, since sabi natin kanina, kapag nandito siya at hindi siya pasok dito sa shaded region or sa rejection region, i-accept natin yung null hypothesis. So since nandito siya sa failed to reject region or non-rejection region, therefore, i-accept natin yung ating null alternative. And kapag in-accept natin yung alternative, automatically, i-reject natin yung, pag in-accept natin yung null hypothesis, automatically, i-reject natin yung alternative hypothesis. So next step, conclusion. So based on our decision, based on our decision, we can conclude that the claim of the researcher is not true. Kumbaga, yung salary, yung average salary ng office secretary is not greater than 40,000. So example number 2, a researcher reports that the average salary of private school teacher is more than 63,000. So a sample of 35 teacher has a mean salary of 65,700 at level of significance 0.01. So that's the claim that the private school teacher earns more than 63,000 a month, 63,000 to. 63,000 a month. The standard deviation of the population is 5,250. So katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, identify natin yung claim. So yung claim dito, since may word na ulit dyan na claim, ayan, claim that the private school teacher earns more than, ibig sabihin greater than 63,000 a month. So if more than, katulad ng kanina, ang ating claim is nasa alternative hypothesis ulit. And yung katumbas ng greater than, ng mathematical symbol na greater than sa ating null hypothesis is mu is less than or equal to 63,000. So ngayon na construct na natin yung null and alternative, step 2 na tayo. So step 2, sabi kanina, is we will select the level of significance and then we will identify the appropriate test sa sample na to. So level of significance, 0.01, ayan. Population mean, 63,000. Sample population mean, 65,700. Sample population, 35, ayan 35. And then standard deviation, 5,250. So, anong test yung gagamitin? Z-test ulit. Bakit? Kasi yung sample population or yung N natin is greater than 30. So, one-tailed test, greater than, right ulit, right? Ayan, ngayon alam na natin yung test na gagamitin. Identify na natin yung critical value. So, using again our Z-table, one-tail. Ayan, one-tail. Ano sabi na? 0.01. Tapos Z-test. So, 0.01. 0.01. Z-test. Ayan, so ang critical value natin is positive 2.326. Ayan, our value is positive 2.326. Next step, step 3, kakalculate natin yung statistic naman, test the statistic. So, Z is equals to X minus mu over standard deviation divided by the square root of N. So, try to input this on your calculator. Ayan. So, ang kalalabasan is Z is equals to 3.043. So, decision na. So, balikan lang natin saglit. Anong critical value? So, our critical value is 2.326. So, ilagay na natin na dito. 2.3 right-tailed ulit. 2.326. 2.326. And then, yung value ng Z natin, 3.04. 3.04. So, nandito siya. Somewhere. Read lang natin. So, ito yung rejection region natin. Yung 3.04. 3.04. Dito guys 3.04. Pasok siya sa rejection region natin. Therefore, i-reject natin yung null hypothesis and i-accept natin yung alternative hypothesis. Ulitin natin, kapag pasok siya dito sa ating rejection region, it means reject the null. And kapag nandito, accept the null. So, sa sample na to, pasok siya dito sa rejection region. So, reject natin siya. So, based on our decision, we can conclude that the claim of the researcher is true. So, the private school teacher earns more than 63,000 a month. So, the claim of the researcher is true. So example 3, sabi dito, a study shows that the average cell phone consumption of a 25 to 35 years old student is 4 hours a day. So a university claims that their students tend to spend time on phone less than 4 hours. So they selected 18 students and found that the mean of 3.5 hours with a standard deviation of 1.8 hours. Use 0.01 level of significance to test their claim. So first, hanapin natin yung claim. Sabi dito, a university claims that their students spend less than 4 hours. Ayan, may word ulit na claim. So less than 4 hours, ganyan naman yung kanyang symbol, in mathematical symbol. Step 1, formulate natin yung null and alternative. So mu is greater than or equal to 4, and our alternative is mu is less than to 4 hours. So nasa alternative na naman yung ating claim. Ayan. So ngayon nakapag-construct na tayo ng ating null and alternative, na-identify na natin yung claim. Let's proceed to step 2. Step 2, identify natin yung level of significance, or we will select the level of significance, then we will identify the appropriate test. So level of significance, 0.01. Given natin yung sample, yung population mean natin is 4. Sample population mean 3.5 hours. Ayan, 4. And then yung sample population natin is 18. And then our standard deviation is 1.8 hours. So identify na natin kung ano yung appropriate test na gagamitin. So bakit t-test? Kasi yung ating sample population is less than 30,000. So if our n is less than 30 lang is less than 30, ang magiging test dyan is t-test. So t-test yung gagamitin natin. T-test, one-tailed, and left naman. Ayan. So sa t-test pala guys, may df pa na tinatawag. So df is equals to n minus 1. So yung n natin, df is, sorry, naintindihan nyo, df is equals to, ito, yung n natin, which is 18. 18 minus 12 is equals to 17. So ito yung value ng df natin. So next, identify natin yung critical value. So one tail ulit siya. T-tail, ito yung T-tail natin guys, yung marami na yan, yung mga banin, T-tail, two-tail rather. So yung DF, yung nakuha natin kanina na n minus 1, 17. Ibalikan natin, level of significance natin is 0.01. Gawin natin 0.01, ito, 0.01. So DF, oops, wait lang. 0.01. Ito guys, so ang ating critical value is equals to 2.567. So sabi kanina, left tail, so negative 2.67, 2.567 ang ating critical value. So our critical value is equals to negative 2.567. So next guys, we will calculate the test statistic using this formula again. So kung mapapansin niyo, parehas lang yan. Parehas lang yung formula ng Z and T. So X minus mu over standard deviation divided by the and so try natin. So try to input this on your calculator. Ang makuha natin is T is equals to negative 1.8. So decision ulit tayo. So ang ating ano raw is lang dito, critical value natin. Ayan, balikan natin ang critical value. Negative 2.567. Balik tayo dito. Negative 2.567. Ayan, 2.567 yun guys. And ang ating P, yung nakuha natin, negative 1.8. So since negative 1.8 yan, nandito yan. Dito yan somewhere. Negative 1.8. So nasa labas siya ng rejection. Nasa labas siya ng rejection region natin. Nasa loob siya ng non-rejection region. So therefore, since hindi siya pasok dito, hindi siya nagpo-fall dito sa rejection region natin. Therefore, we can, masabi natin, our decision will be, we will accept the HO and we will reject the HA. So based on our decision, muna tayo ng conclusion. So the claim of the researcher is false. So sabi dito, like 10 so it means that hindi less than 4 hours yung consumption ng phone. Or ayun yung the student tend to spend time on phone less than 4 hours. So ibig sabihin, yung claim ng university is hindi totoo or false. So guys, ngayon na-explain na natin yung 3 examples and I hope naintindihan siya. And so you will try naman mag-isa. You will try these 2 examples or these 2 problem and then katulad ng ginawa kanina, step 1 to 5 hanggang sa magkaroon kayo ng decision and conclusion, isasolve nyo to katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. So we'll give you time, you can pause the video para makapagsagot and then after that, i-share ko yung answer. Screenshot and then you can check if your answer is wrong, if your answer is correct, kung tama or kung may na-miss kayo guys, you can screenshot this. And then for the next example naman, sa number 2, ayan, see if your answer is correct, kung bawat step nakuha siya, kung kompleto, and kung tama yung naging conclusion nyo, kung naging parehas tayo ng conclusion and decision, so guys, check. So yun guys, if okay na, thank you so much for watching the tutorial video all the way through natapos nyo. And I really hope it has helped you understand hypothesis testing. So guys, if you have any question or need clarification, you just comment it down below and I will try to answer it as fast as I can, as soon as I can. So yun, and then I will end with this quote by William Paul Thurston. Mathematics is not about numbers, equation, computation, or algorithms. It is about understanding. That is all. Thank you.